Great.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending this webinar. This is the first of a three-part webinar that Supadu will be they will be leading. All of these are on a related subjects. This is the first one. The next will be next Wednesday at the same time, and the following will be in April. You'll receive an email follow-up so that you will be able to register for this one or any of the future ones. You can also register right from the website. There is a link on each of the registration blanks to the following ones because this is a series. So, I'm Therese Brown. I am your host with the Association of Catholic Publishers. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Sarah is going to introduce herself and introduce the subject, and I'm going to give that over to her in just a second. Just a few housekeeping details. I already mentioned the recording. If you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat or the Q&A. I will take care of those that are in the Q&A, but if you tag it as everyone in chat, Sarah will be able to see that as well. We will have time at the end for further conversation and dialogue with Sarah. We are set aside the next hour, actually 58 minutes at this point. So let us begin. Sarah, I'm going to let you take it over and welcome everyone.
Oh, well, thanks, Therese. Thank you. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And as Therese said, I know it's been a very busy week for lots of people with different conferences, bouncing from one to another. So we really, really appreciate the time and hopefully leave you with lots of good information. I'm going to share my screen now. And here we go. We've got some slides. There, I'll just make sure nothing's on top of it. So we're going to be talking about e-commerce for strategies for publisher. So I work at Supadu. Supadu does websites and e-commerce stores for book publishers with metadata automation as well. I work across like the sales and operations side. So my day-to-day is very much learning from publishers about what the problems are, what the issues they're seeing online across the industry as a publisher, perhaps as a distributor or as a partner, and how Supadu can help fix those problems. So here is just some of our academic and university press customers. You'll recognize pretty much all of them. I think a few of you are here today, so thank you very much for joining. And here are oh, sorry, I've got a bit of feedback there, Therese. Actually, would you mind if I just put you on mute? Thank
Go right
you.
ahead.
Thank you. And here are some logos working with publishers of faith. So as I mentioned, we do e-commerce and websites for publishers. We've got actually over 300 publishers now, which is an incredible community. And some of those are very big. Most of those are medium size, and lots of those are kind of smallish publishers. So we kind of do one size fits all. And we're always looking about what's happening in the world of e-commerce. And how, as I mentioned, the problems that publishers are seeing or the challenges that publishers are seeing, and how the industry is changing. So the landscape in book publishing has undergone loads of transformation over the last few years, and especially in 2023 and 2024, there's been a lot of technological advancements with, the AI becoming more standardized usage across everyone. There's evolving consumer behaviors. There's a lot more cross-pollination. There's innovative marketing strategies. There's a huge expansion of digital formats with audiobooks and ebooks. And so we put some of this here just to showcase like 33%, so that's 1/3 of consumers do half of their online shopping on marketplaces. So as a publisher, you might sell direct to consumer, but your consumers are in the marketplaces. And they may shop on 2 or more marketplaces before making a purchase. But they prefer to shop from a brand store. So they prefer to shop from you if the price and shipping are comparable. And so an important part of like being seen by these consumers is metadata. And if you've heard us before or met us before, we always talk about metadata. We talk about lots of fun things too, but metadata is something very, very close to our heart because it's really the backbone of what makes a good e-commerce strategy. We've got this in here, which is good metadata. So this is all about giving your readers all of the information you possibly can onto your store, and making sure that it's correct and up to date. And as publishers, you are creating that metadata because you're distributing it to third parties, to distributors, to everyone. So your website is just another sales channel. So allowing your website to have all of that good metadata, all those subject codes and bisect codes, full descriptions, all that supplemental content is really, really important. And here we've put this in. So this is from a study that was done, I think maybe 2023 now. And it was done with Nielsen, and it shows, and it was the second one. So there was one done in 2020, I think maybe 2020, and then like 3 years later as well. And it's all about key metadata for discoverability and sales, and how they've proved that having complete metadata really does drive sales. So they've picked out 5 elements of metadata that really make the biggest difference, which are book jacket covers. And I was actually giving a webinar yesterday with a children's publishing group about book jackets, actually. And I'd asked the question, why is it that, publishers sometimes don't have book jackets, and what can they put in the place while they're waiting for those covers to come through? Because it's such a driver of sales. And then, of course, long title descriptions. Descriptions of your book are really, really key. And publishers have got so much better at allowing their online channels to have access to those descriptions as well. Bisect codes, of course, and keywords are really critical because of the categorization, and more so theme coming in as well. We say, or we recommend, I should say, because in the categorization, don't just do one category like religion. Think about like some subcategories as well, just to give your book a higher chance of kind of online discoverability within the search engines. And then on the right hand side, you can see some bar charts, which in the pink is 0 to 3 descriptive metadata elements, so those on the left. And then the orange, which is the sales, is if you do 5 descriptive metadata elements. So already you can see how much of a difference all of this makes, because essentially you're creating a visually engaging place for readers to find out more information and decide to purchase that book, hopefully directly from you, but if not, allow them to go off to the third parties.
Sarah,
Yes. Hi.
before you go on, since you talked about
Yes.
discoverability, we have a question that I wanted to see if
Oh,
you can
great.
answer. When you talk
Yes.
about discoverability, yeah, when you talk about discoverability, which platform does this particularly help when on a website?
Right, great question. So I am not talking about Amazon. I'm avoiding Amazon in anything I talk about today because they have their own rules. We don't get involved with them. We just recommend allowing users to purchase from wherever. I am talking about search engines. So you may have incognito search engines or Google search engines. I mean, Google is the biggest one usually. So the discoverability is about external discoverability of your book. So if someone's typing in um, religion in Idaho, and you may have a book, or religious icons in Alabama, you want to give your book the chance to appear on that first page. But not just that, inside your website all of this metadata is playing a discoverability part as well, because you've got a website search and you've got filtering. And so when a reader comes to your website, they may come from some marketing activity you're doing, some social media. They've come from somewhere, perhaps organically. But then they will spend, if you've got a good website, they should be spending time looking around your website and maybe going on to recommended reads, other books by the author, similar authors, or whatever it might be. So the discoverability also helps there.
Great, thank you.
No problem. Supplementary content. So I've just been talking about, an engaging place. So engaged readers spend 3 times more with a website than non-engaged readers. So basically, if you've got a place that looks great with loads of information and like good visual stuff, maybe some comments, peer reviews, citations, and supplemental content. So these are things like related books. I've got praise and reviews there. Desk and exam copies, we have a lot of people do that. You may have YouTube videos. You may have reading guides if you do Sunday schools. You may have teaching guides. You may have podcasts. You may have something from the author. You may have activity sheets. These could be a whole range of things. But if you have them, allow them to appear on your website and attach to the title that they're related to, because you're all about kind of creating an engaged, exciting space for readers. And actually, that this also makes a big difference in discoverability. It's not just metadata, because Google, especially nowadays, is looking for places for websites which are good user experiences. And another really great way of kind of engaging consumers is look inside. So it's browsing and reading those samples. It drives sales and it provides invaluable user data. And I'll come on to data in a bit, because we've got quite a lot to say on that subject. But the look inside, I mean, if you just look at your own experiences on a website where you go and there's lots of things to do on a product page. You've got the book jacket, you've got the social media, you've got I'll go to this slide. Here we go. The engagement thrives on a good search. You see, you've got like filtering, you've got all the different formats and linked content. It just looks like a place you want to be. It's like this. I want to purchase. We've just heard about most consumers want to purchase from independent brands rather than marketplaces. So giving yourselves the best chance to allow that really does make a difference. And of course, user data will help your marketing efforts as well.
Sarah, a quick
Yes,
question.
great.
Do videos help?
Yes, yes. So how did I forget the video? The power of the video. The videos really, really help because, well, the engagement levels percentage of a video versus text is like 80%. So yes, if you've got, I did mention YouTube, but if any video that you possibly have, yep, are
Great,
really,
thank you.
really engaging. And then a good website search. So I mentioned earlier about the discoverability and the searching. So here, this is where it becomes the metadata becomes important, because when you arrive at a website, you really have like seconds, like less than 3 seconds to really kind of grab that user. So you need to kind of hit them with relevant results, fast results, all the content. Um, and and then, hopefully they'll kind of dive in and start doing a bit more searching and spending a bit more time looking at all the look insides. Um, 43% of organic users go straight to the search bar, interestingly enough. So these, when we say organic users, these are people that have found your book directly from a Google search or a DuckDuckGo search, and they've come and they may be looking at that book, but then they will go to your website search. So, and they will typically try out 3 to 5 search queries before abandoning the site if there's inadequate results. So again, the important thing with all this metadata is making, and supplemental content is making sure that you're never really delivering no results. And if you have no results, make a recommendation of like, hey, we don't have this, but we recommend this, just so you're, driving the user through the website. And displaying different ways of search results as well. Like here, you can see a grid format. You can, I mean, this is more common than not nowadays, but you can do a list format as well. The second part of what I'm going to talk about today, which is e-commerce strategies for publishers, is an effective checkout. Cart abandonment is a percentage and a stat that we look at very, very closely across all of our publishers, because over 69% of users leave their cart. So that's quite high. So you really only have 30% of sales to kind of grab those users and convert them into a sale. So we are trying to reduce that figure from that industry average right down to 50%, 40%. And here you see 30%, and I'll explain why in a second. So it's a really important stat to look at on your analytics if you're collecting them at the minute. At Superdoo, we've got something called a smart buy button, which are buy buttons that you put on external websites and online channels that drive to your shopping cart. So essentially, you're increasing your marketing reach. These buy buttons, because they are perhaps on an author's website, perhaps in a newsletter, have got an extraordinarily low abandoned cart rate, so just under 30%. So it's a really interesting stat for us to watch, because it's converting the user much higher than a traditional website, even though they're kind of checking out through that. And we put this in to kind of explain reasons why users abandon their cart. A lot of it is understanding about extra costs. Extra costs were too high. So you want to be completely transparent about shipping costs, tax costs, shipping costs especially. I mean, I know taxes in the US are slightly different state to state, but shipping can kind of be very fluid. So you want to be kind of upfront and consider offering lots of different shipping options to your consumers. They want guest checkout. They want to know that they don't want slow delivery. So that's about offering different shipping rates. If they're buying a gift, they want to be able to do 24-hour or 48-hour shipping there. And then a lengthy checkout with too many steps drives 1 in 5 customers away from their online shopping carts. So it's really thinking, and most e-commerce systems these days do have a one-page checkout. But if you're not on, one of the latest e-commerce checkouts, then really do have a think about a lengthy checkout. Don't ask too many questions. It just should be kind of factual, but maybe a checkbox to your newsletter as well. Because as it says here, 1 in 5 customers will leave their shopping cart if it's to checkout, because customers are time poor. They've made that purchase decision. Also, you're competing against retail, like proper retailers. So the consumer is used to buying on their phone, buying on their tablet, one-click purchasing. Amazon purchasing. So that's really your competition in when you're considering your customer experience. And we put this diagram in, which just shows the end-to-end e-commerce experience. So there we've got the website, and then the smart buy buttons, which I just spoke about. And then we've got the one-click checkout. The holy grail is really to put any format into a basket and allow the consumer to check out. So if you have ebooks and audiobooks, but you're currently using third parties, great. What about, do you have the rights to be able to sell them directly on your website? Because that will also kind of drive up a sales spike. And here's another slide about smart buy buttons. So these are one-click purchasing capabilities. So I mentioned about them existing outside of your website on your social media. These are all about you may have a landing page, or your author may be promoting or one of the missions or churches or ministries may be promoting one of your titles or one of your collections. Give them a buy button. And it's like you can give them a buy button, and then all the users to their website, their page can purchase that book through your shopping cart. And then lastly, community building. So community building is a really, really big part of what we do, because it's all about the engaged users and the loyalty. And at the start of this, I mentioned about us looking at what happens in the world of e-commerce and what consumers are doing and where they're buying and how they're buying. So they want to buy from independents. And we take so many learnings from bookshops, because bookshops really are brilliant at building communities and the outreach of that. They do lots of reader events. They're excellent at running sales and promotions, and they do a lot of bundling as well. Author talks and stuff in store as well. So we do take a lot of learning about what bookshops are doing and try to apply it to our publishers online. And here's an example of one of our university presses, Baylor University Press, who does quite a lot of reader events. There we go. We've got a poetry reading by, I won't try and pronounce the surname, forgive me, Michael. There. And then coupons, deals, and flash sales. So these are really great at sales spikes. And I know I talk to publishers all the time, and they're like, yes, we would love to do that across everything, but our margins are so slow, we can't put a promotion on everything. That shouldn't matter. Some coupons, well, flash sales and deals are different, because yes, it's hitting your margin, but coupons, there's all sorts of clever things you can do with that, of like, buy this and get 5% off your next purchase, or buy this and gift someone this coupon, or buy 3 and get the third ebook free. So there's many different ways that you can kind of look at this. And again, we recommend looking at some of the bookshops in your local area, and some of the big ones like Barnes and Noble. Obviously in the UK, we've kind of got Waterstones and Daunt Books as well. But see what they're doing, because they're very well versed in like the couponing and deals and flash sales. And also talk to other publishers in this area, other sales they've done. We last year, I was at a conference in Nashville, and Alabama University Press was talking about they do a sale when it snows. And no one knows when it's going to snow in Alabama, but when it snows, they do this sale. But they've been doing it for such a long time. They now have this community that's like quite loyal to them and knows to go online. They send an email out saying, "Hey, it's snow day, it's flash sale," and it's generating quite a nice sales spike for them. Hopefully, they continue to get snow. Landing pages with special offers. So landing pages are excellent marketing tools, as I'm sure you all know. They they are spaces where you don't need to look like your website, and it can make the author a hero, the book a hero, a mission a hero. You can make whatever a hero in a landing page because it's all about that thing that you're promoting. And they're usually special offers. They're usually for a limited time, and they're great at building communities, driving traffic, helping your SEO, and driving sales. I see we've got another question. Do you want me to answer it now?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Do we have any stats on the percentage increase of revenue when a video is on the product page versus not? That is a great question. We do have some stats. I don't want to kind of be too broad because it actually depends what type of publisher you are. So if you are a youth publisher, you're going to have a lot more video, and the increase of revenue will be a lot higher if you're using video. But if you're one of our educational academic publishers, it's probably slightly lower. So I know that's a bit of a politician's answer, but it's so yes, in every case, it increases revenue, but I can't give you a specific stat on how much because it will differ from publisher to publisher and type of publisher as well.
Sarah, since we got you paused, there's another question about how do you measure the sales and such, especially for value added items that you might be featuring. I think I'm understanding that you might be featuring in these special offers and such.
Well, so if you're doing direct sales from your website, you're going to have your sales stats, and then you're going to have Google Analytics. Well, we use Google Analytics. So then we look at the Google Analytics, we look at the sales data, and we merge the two together, saying, hey, you did that promotion, you got those sales. We can see how many people abandon the cart. We do a lot of, with our Shopify websites, we do a lot of, hey, you've still got stuff in your shopping basket. So we're trying to kind of always push extra conversions as well. So we use the e-commerce platform sales data versus Google Analytics to draw out that journey. And it's very, very easy. It's very quick. It's very simple.
Thanks.
Oh, no problem. And then we put this in, which is all about be creative. So be creative. You are publishers. You have so much content. You've got these, amazing books, and journals, and sometimes magazines, and extra content, and blogs, and author words. Like, be creative with it. Think about, I mean, we put here, bundle a free ebook with a print book, which is a kind of obvious one, but some of our publishers get really creative where they do some online book clubs. They might have a message from the author that's not kind of anywhere else if they're like doing a special release. Sometimes we've got a couple of publishers that release onto their website before they even do it with Amazon. And then they send something out to their community, saying, hey, it's on our website for, the next 7 days, go and grab it here. And they may do like hardcover, special editions. I know that's like a big trend now as well. But you have so much content and so much wonderful content, and publishers are by nature very creative. So the websites, and the channel should allow you to put that creativity into action because you will see more sales. And then email out. So special offers. So email out with codes. So direct marketing, we call this, is still like a really, really high converter. of sales. And this is another one of our publishers based in the UK, actually, Arc Humanities Press. And they do a lot of direct marketing where they promote their books. So they send out emails and they put the coupon code in the email. So it's like a discount code. And then clicking on the code, the user's taken straight to the relevant catalog page on the website and the discount. So you can see the discounts there and then the buy buttons there. So it's very, very quick, pushing them from, that initial click, hey, I'm interested in seeing what this discount is, to the discount and to their shopping basket. And, we talk to them quite a lot, and it's a very effective sales channel for them. And then subscriptions and bundles. Again, going back to our bookshops, and here we've got Dawn's books as well, and our learnings for bookshops. They're great at subscription models. And in this example, they offer a bespoke subscription service based on you. So you can tell them some of your reading preferences. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can tell them some of their reading preferences, and they incentivize you to do so. And then they hand pick a title for you each month based on what you say you like reading. So it's an excellent way of promoting certain titles. And maybe if somebody is a bit time poor or just likes a bit of a surprise, which, many, many readers do. And yeah, this is very, very successful for them. And some of our publishers have picked this up, and I understand some of the other publishers, which I've spoken to around and about, also do quite a lot of subscription promotion, I think we'd call it. And of course, social media is good to grow new audiences.
Sarah, we can't hear you. Sarah, I don't think we can hear you. I know I can't. No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I don't don't really know what happened there. Anyway, so social media is a great way to grow and interact with your book community. So, and because you can promote different titles and special events, and you can join in with trends, and you can measure analytics. It's good. There's so much analytics with social media. So then you can apply this and tailor the content. And different platforms work for different publishers and require different messaging. And I go back to everybody here just thinking about, how they interact with different platforms. Whether you're a Facebook user, you're probably more likely to read a lot more content than if you're an X user or an Instagram user. So again, kind of apply what you know in your own behaviors to social media as well. They are brilliant for publishers because, of course, they help you reach a new audience, and you're interacting with followers in a very quick, dynamic way. And as we all know, with social media, followers definitely react back. So it's great for building brand identity and awareness. And of course, now with the buy buttons, you can link back to the store and Instagram, Linktree and Shop Now. So all of these, use these if you've got a social media channel to drive it to your website and to your sales. Author engagement. So again, this is something that we've taken a lot from bookstores as well, but also some of our publishers. And I wonder if we've got, yes, we've got that in here too. So it's bringing readers and authors together because it's an excellent network. And often authors will have their own community and their own network away from the publishers. So it's not just the publisher working for the author. The author can help the publisher sell the more author books. So author events using that author's community for engagement. So if you're a publisher, and I'll go to this next slide now. If you're a publisher and you're doing a promotion on a book, contact that author and say, hey, we're going to be doing this promotion on your book. Would you be able to post it to your network? And here, one of our publishers, Boydell and Brewer, they did where we got the flash sale now, where they've got 50% off print books, and their author retweeted it or re-exed it, and generated significant leads. And so they saw an increase in website analytics and website sales. You can see the impressions, the link likes, and their reach. Look at that. So that's like a nice reach that they didn't have before that author kind of got involved as well. And then I'm going to cover audience retention as well, because we've kind of mentioned about following up with your community. So learning about who your readers are and what their habits are will help you increase conversions and increase sales. So you're learning about their preferred genres, what makes them engage, where they're engaging, and what incentives they're interested in, that help them buy. And all of this helps you build a solid community of readers, and that engagement will drive up sales. Here is a case study from one of our trade publishers called Kensington Books, and they've got a book club called Between the Chapters, and they run this book club on Facebook, but obviously on Facebook they promote it through Instagram and through their website, and obviously through their other Facebook their company Facebook channel as well. And they've got over 20,000 members now within their book club, and they wanted to cultivate an enthusiastic group of book lovers who were excited to share their thoughts, which also gives the publisher more content, and it gives your editorial team perhaps some interesting data about what the trends are within your readers as well. But they've cultivated this community where these readers, these book club members, are really, really happy to kind of share thoughts about, the books and how they read. And they do this every month. And here we've got some more information on it. So they do a lot of competitions, and so the community posts about images of themselves, and if they've won something, they're happy to say, hey, I've won this. And so it's almost become like a whole network where Kensington Books are the ones that choose the book, and then the community are the ones that are creating the content, promoting the book, writing about the book. So it's a very nice circle between the publisher, the community, and the author. And here we've got some more information. And actually, they provided a quote to us. So this is from Kensington Books, where we're now cultivating an inside group of dedicated readers who we know will read, post, and preview the books they review, which is a great case study. And so this will definitely help them attract more authors as well. And that's it from me today. Thank you for everyone's questions. They've been great. Hopefully we have a few more.
Actually, we don't have any more. So thank you for the questions in the midst of this. Sarah, that was a great deal of very concrete, practical information. on how to boost online sales. And I know we have a lot of small and medium-sized publishers who are our members who often have small marketing staffs. So
Yeah.
having some options that are just, you can go and do them, and they're very, very clear, very concise. That's wonderful. As you're talking about book clubs, I was thinking about our own Catholics Read Book Club.
Yes.
And taking some notes on what we might do to improve and increase our readership and participation. As we were chatting, we do have another question. Let me pose this to you and see what you have to say. So, how does metadata perform versus work on optimizing SEO? Oh, it's a great question.
Right. So, well, SEO is search engine optimization. So what it's doing is it's the crawlers, the search engines are looking at your website and they're looking for a few things. They're looking about, is your content relevant to what you say you are? Are you a book publisher? Then it's looking at your pages. So it's like, okay, you've got a book about that. What information do you have about that book? So it's all those things, those titles, those subject codes, that jacket cover, the descriptions, short descriptions, long descriptions, author bios. It's looking for all of that. And if you've got all of that, the search engine's like, oh, great. Okay, this is way more complete than competitor down the road who doesn't have all that.
That's great. That's helpful. Anybody else before we close our time out? Speak now or forever hold your peace, to borrow a phrase.
Like that. That was great.
So as I said, for those of you who are attending and those of you who have colleagues that you want to pass it on, this is the first of 3 webinars. The next is the same time next week, next Wednesday. So please go to the ACP website, catholicpublishers.org, and click on events or on the calendar, and you will see those on there. You can register for the second as well as the third. We're waiting to update our title and description for the third one. So that information will be forthcoming, but you can register so you can set aside the time to be here. Other than that, the second to last piece is, yes, we are recording this, and yes, this will go out to all those who registered, but it will also go out with a link to those who are in our marketing peer groups. If you find that you cannot find that email, or you remember that there was a webinar on this topic, you can always find any of our webinars on our webinar page, which is also under events at catholicpublishers.org. And at the ACP, Association of Catholic Publishers YouTube channel. They are all there from time immemorial. So you have multiple ways of catching up with Sarah on this particular one in the future. So last thing is to say thank you to Sarah and to Supadu for sponsoring this series of webinars. Sarah, it's been great having you. Thank you for the wonderful information. If there are any questions that people have after this webinar, please feel free to send them to me and I can send them on to Sarah, and we'll make sure that you get the answers that you're looking for. Anything else? Any last words, Sarah?
No, but I would like to thank you so much and everybody who attended. We really appreciate it.
Look forward to hearing back from you and your staff in the coming weeks. And that's it for today, folks. Thank you very much.
Thank